I'm recording now.
Morning, Mark.
Take two. Yeah, all good. How are you?
First bloomer of the day. I'm fine, thank you. I was a bit achy last night. I cleared up from the back of the garage, and then I went on to the front of the garage, and I think I might have overdone it a little bit, but never mind. I was a bit achy. I had a bath, and now I feel okay.
Yeah, you've overdone it. We got a skip, ladies and gentlemen. First time for a while. We used to have a permanent skip, didn't we?
Yeah, sorting out everything.
Generated over the years. So yeah, you've cleared out the garage, so tidied that up. So that's good.
Yeah.
So you have to take it easy today. At your age, you've got to be careful. Anyway.
I don't think you'd say that to anyone else other than me. Take it easy at your age.
Oh,
You
no,
love that, don't you? No. Don't say anymore.
I say it to myself all the time. Anyway, episode 67, Friday the 29th of May 2020. Don't know why, I've got something in the back of my head. Oh, and Mum and Dad's wedding anniversary tomorrow, I think it is. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, it was. Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah, so yeah, knew there was some sort of anniversary. Anyway, the music from 2 days ago was Whatever Gets You Through the Night by John Lennon. And Barry Royden, I think, got his third contest win in a row.
He did. You don't have to think about it. He definitely did.
So he's coming up on the rails. And now we've got today's. So we've got to get the artist and the name of the song and the link to 2 days ago, as it was. So he got the rollover. So here we go. I'm not quite sure how much to play. I mean, I know most of the audience are just eliminated from this, wouldn't have a clue, but we've got some really good people, of course.
I think as long as it's clear, they get a fair shot, so you don't need to play too much. But when it's not clear and it's fuzzy, I'll tell you, okay? So let's have a listen. That's a lot clearer today.
Yeah, I can't play more than that.
No, you're giving it away. All right.
Okay, yeah, I did get a photo. Nobody we know, but I was in tears of laughter last night when Dave Adkins sent me a video of this old boy having his lockdown haircut from his wife.
Have you got a before and after?
Yeah. And I will post the video up. It's about 3 minutes long, but it was hilarious. Well, I found it hilarious.
You were absolutely rolling up. I don't think I've heard you laugh quite so much.
I just kept thinking of Pete Mason having his haircut earlier in the lockdown. So here's the chat.
Well, perhaps Louise could let us know how bad it was. Look, here he goes.
That's him beforehand. That's his wife. Having a number 5. He specified a number 5, and he says, "Get on with it then." So that was before, and then after, she'd had a little bit of a go at him. It's that one. He got a few little tufty bits left, but yeah. The only thing I've not seen men cutting the female partner's hair.
Yes, you have. There was one on the telly, the news, and she'd long hair, and she was bald by the time he'd finished.
Oh, I think she wanted it bald though, didn't she?
Yeah, she said, "Oh, I can't go to the hairdressers. I'll cut it and it'll grow."
Yeah.
But you never know how it's going to grow, so I'm a little bit more precious about my hair.
Yeah. And I must comment on your appearance. You covered up your cleavage today, which is good at this time in the morning. Yeah.
I don't know what the actual T-shirt I thought was up here. It wasn't showing just on the video. Sorry about that, folks.
I could put in the title episode 67, Dawn's cleavage, and the viewing figures would go shooting up because
except for I'm not showing any cleavage, am I? Never mind.
No, because yesterday when I changed it from nudism to bread and marmalade, the viewing figures halved.
Yeah, it's not surprising.
Got a bunch of.
I told you they wouldn't be interested in bread and marmalade.
of perverts watching. Or sometimes watching. We know the people I'm about to mention are not perverts because they watch it whatever we talk about.
Yeah.
But it's the others I'm worried about. They look at the title and then they decide whether they're going to watch or not.
Well, each to their own. There is a lot of boredom around because it's now nearly 2.5 months. It feels like 2.5 months. It's not quite, but
67 episodes. Yeah.
I know, exactly. So it's sort of like people are beginning to get bored because they've done all the jobs now and they're thinking, what should I do next?
Your garage out. Right, okay. Good feedback yesterday. Really made me chuckle quite a few of these. I'm just glad we live in Hildenborough, to be honest. Andy, this was all about, remember I showed the photograph of the brown bear in Italy where the little boy with his family came across this brown bear and he very calmly just walked away and wasn't threatened, which was brilliant. So we asked about others' close encounters of a similar kind. And Andy Poppleton was on a run along the canal, I think it was in the Midlands, and suddenly felt this little brush against his leg, flicked his leg and kicked this little dog into the canal. So
terrible man.
It reminded me of a run we were doing once. We were coming back across to Tunbridge School Fields. There's a whole bunch of us, and Steve Keywood, he always used to do runs with about 10 metres in front of us the whole way and forcing the pace a little bit more uncomfortably than we would have liked. And we'd all be chatting and Steve would be pushing on and we'd run like an hour and a half like that. Well, on this occasion, he'd been struggling a bit. So he was 30, 40 metres behind us and these little snappy terriers came up round our legs. I guess there was more, because there was a group of us, they didn't bother us too much. And we were giggling a bit because we knew Steve would be in a bad mood. And suddenly, this poor little old lady taking these terriers out was faced with a huge amount of expletives from Steve as these little terriers were snapping around his legs. He wasn't amused. It just finished off the run for him, but I always remember that. But yeah, little dogs are worse than the big dogs, I think.
I don't know. You told me about the Great Dane with his paws on your shoulders.
I think he was just being friendly.
I think most of them are. It's just, but it just goes to show that if you can't control your dog, keep it on the lead.
Definitely. Steve Fury came across jumping tarantula, a little family of tarantulas that put the wind up in. It must. This is in America, folks. Steve was on a track scholarship in America as a runner. So and he also picked up a turtle to put him back in the water, and it was a snapping turtle that grabbed hold of his arm.
Oh, yeah, right, and wouldn't let go.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Well, it might be a snapping turtle, or it could have been a terror. Is it a terrapin? They bite, and they're pretty vicious.
Yeah,
they look like turtles, but they're not.
James Taylor, JT, jumped over a snake this very week around Tunbridge.
All right.
He was out for a run.
There are. I met one when I went for a walk with Oscar. But the worst thing I came across when I was walking Oscar one day was this horse. He was out of his field and he was standing in front of me. And normally I'm pretty calm around horses, but it was stamping his paw. And I thought, okay, you obviously don't like dogs or humans. No, I'm not sure which one it is, but we had to turn around and go back the other way. And then I had to try and find someone who could tell the owner that the horse had got out.
Yeah, without banging the desk. Yeah.
Without banging the desk, sorry.
Yeah. Good. The most we're faced with is like Barry Royden, who with the Medway and Maidstone gang out for a run, ran in front of a guy who'd stopped some lights, but I guess he wanted to keep going and the runners delayed him a bit. He got out with a hammer to start threatening, but he suddenly realised actually there was a group of them, so he backed down. So
what are people on?
Yeah, that's the Medway towns for you, though, isn't it?
God, yeah.
Yeah, don't do that in Hildenborough. Yeah. And then I knew he would trump the lot. Hubert in British Columbia.
We asked him about bears. Did he answer?
Yeah. He had a mother and two cubs, black bears, 200-foot up a tree at the end of the garden in his old house, because it was the mating season and they were frightened of the male.
Mouse, yeah.
Yeah, which yeah, it's a bit like that in lockdown for some people, isn't it? I suppose. But he he's been chased by quite an aggressive bear and a cougar, and apparently out there, Vancouver has the highest density of cougars in the world.
I can well imagine, yeah.
Yeah, and we're talking about the animal variety, not the human variety.
I don't think you can tell whether cougars are not in the human variety. I think it's only after time.
Don't think we know any cougars, do we? I don't think so.
Not really.
I try and I leave the gossip at the club to Mark Pitcairn-Knowles and Pete Mason. I'll keep out all that. Yeah. But apparently his little sister Sarah, who's in Tasmania, we're waiting for hear from, had a fantastic. Well, I don't know if it's a fantastic story yet, but her meeting of a grizzly bear.
Oh my goodness!
So I think that's going to trump even Hubert. But his recommendations are: if you're faced with a bear, generally, make yourself, or a cougar, make yourself as big as you can and stand still. Except if it's a grizzly bear, you make yourself as small as possible.
All right. How do you tell which one's which?
Yeah.
One's got a,
Grizzlies play dead. If your grizzlies play dead, so.
Oh right, okay. Right.
I don't know.
Good advice. I'm not living in Canada, I don't think.
I'll go on my cross trainer in the gym, I think. Yeah. So we were going to talk about all sorts of things, and after the marmalade and the bread didn't go down that well with viewers, apart from Grazia was appreciative. I said I gave you a choice of things we could talk about, and you chose something out of the blue, which is, what do you want most in the world? And I'm intrigued.
Are you? Oh, it's very practical, and you'll go no, and it's just simply I had a choice a couple of years ago whether I wanted a blind or a shed cum greenhouse, and I would really like a shed cum greenhouse. That's a shed with a greenhouse. But you were concerned about parking and all sorts of things, and it was a no. But I really would like one of those.
Okay.
There you go. There's my heart's desire. I knew it would intrigue you, but it also, as I said to you, it's not a diamond ring, so you're all right. You're safe.
No.
But it's expensive as well.
No. Okay, viewers. What would you think a greenhouse, as described by Dawn, would cost? Give us an idea. And then
hold on a second. Let me describe it. It is made. It is like an oak frame, so they are expensive. I'll get on to Pete and see if we can get a cheaper alternative.
Yeah, most things Dawn comes up with like that are not south of £20,000 or something like that.
It was about, to be fair, it was about 8,000, and I did think that was a bit expensive at the time. So, but that's what I would like, and that's I think sometimes you have to give in.
Yeah, my car's getting old.
Yeah, you can have a new car if you want. I don't mind. No, that's more expensive.
It is. One of the things somebody mentioned, I think it was on the First Dates Hotel. This lady came along for her first date with this guy, and she had 36 questions she wanted to ask him, so to find out and take advantage of this very first date, make the most of it. And one of them was a very strange question: had he ever considered or had an idea of how he might die? I mean, how's anyone going to know that? But it did.
Did he answer it?
He said he didn't know. But I wondered, do you have recurring deep thoughts about life? This is getting quite deep. And if so, do you have any?
Well, my, my thing is just go and enjoy it because you only get one go at it.
Yeah.
And so, in a sense, why worry about it? So I don't think about it like that. I sometimes, if it's dangerous to drive, like it's really icy and there's so many idiots out on the road, I'll have to say, you never know what people are going to do. So sometimes I think, oh God, it'd be awful if I died now. And that sort of, but it's a fraction of a second thought, and then you're just extra careful about how you're driving, and if you think someone's going to behave idiotically, you tend to sort of like slow down, back off, and just sort of like just get on with it. But I can't really say that I think about dying. I mean, when I was a child, I used to have a dream. And it used to be a recurring dream where I was dying. I didn't want to die, but I think as a child, you don't really understand what's happening, do you? So you think, oh, that's awful, and it did frighten me. And I used to wake up screaming, and my mum used to have to come in and calm me down, etc. And it happened for about 2 weeks, but now I'm really sort of like pretty relaxed about it all. I think if I'm going to die, I'm going to die. I can't do anything about it, so I'm not going to worry about it.
I wonder if anyone's watching has ever had one of those experiences where they've been close or something and they've passed on to the other side and come back. I think very unlikely, but you know what I mean? They see these.
Oh God, you're getting really creepy today. I'm not sure I'm enjoying it.
Well, no, but you brought it up because you were talking about building this greenhouse and oak part to the greenhouse shed. And that made me think, because I had deepest thoughts down here, and I often think about my own mortality. I've done,
yes, you do. You frequently say, "Oh, I'm not going to make it past," and then you'll give me an age, and I just sort of look at you and think, "What are you on?" And I really do.
All the evidence speaks to, and if you have one of those things on average, on balance, I'm going to go between 80 and 83. So I've got 23 years left, which isn't long really, and if I get more, I'm done lucky. If I get less,
you haven't looked after yourself.
But then I'm thinking, I have to, a bit of an effort getting up the stairs. You were aching yesterday, so what's the point in building a greenhouse and shed, for $8,000 when we'll be in a bungalow soon? It's.
But you didn't like that idea a few years back. You didn't want to go to a bungalow. You're not going. I mean, honestly, make your mind up.
We've got to plan these things. You can't just go off and buy a shed like that,
Buy a shed? You can buy a shed, dear. It's very easy to buy a shed.
Anyway, so food for thought there. Quite a few subjects wrapped in together: bungalows, sheds, costs, mortality, deepest thoughts. What do you want most in the world? Take your pick. And Sarah Bunce, if she ever watches this, we really want to know about her close encounter with a grizzly bear.
Oh God! But she must have survived. But it must be horrendously scary at the time. You think, oh my God, what's going to happen next?
Well, she does find it difficult to type because she's got no arms or legs. So it's that's quite difficult. No, I'm joking. Ironic though, because I noticed when Hubert messaged her this morning, it's his little sister. He calls her Scary. And she was known as Scary when she was like 3 or 4. And so
I don't think nicknames between children actually sort of die. You still sort of say that, but I mean, he probably doesn't say that in front of his children or anything else. So
it's another good one though. Anyone got any good nicknames?
Yeah, anyone got any good names?
Anyway, we better go because you've got to go shopping, haven't you? And I've got to go
and sort everyone out. See you later. Bye.
Bye.